Okay, this is the fourth attempt to do Artem's kissing card, Eternal Yearning, because I kept screwing up and also the game kept shutting down. Hopefully this will work this time. Artem's residence. The hour is late and the lights of the many residences and stelas are flickering out one by one. Artem smiles wryly as he looks at the advertisement displayed on his tablet. A swan-themed gift conveys a message of eternal love. Liquor chocolates express how intoxicated you are by them and how you wish to be with them forever. Choosing such items to give as tokens of affection will make you more likely to succeed when you confess your love.
빅데이터 팝업창 광고 뜨는 타이밍이 기가 막히네. 하지만 사랑의 증표를 고르는 걸 이렇게 간단하게 끝내서는 안 될 것 같은데. 그 외의 이벤트도...
Aside from that, there's the event. Oh, Artem puts down the pen in his hand. The paper on the table is already filled densely with ideas, but none of them survived being crossed out. He sighs and stands up.
아, 청소하면서 머리를 좀 식혀볼까?
His room is so nice. The robotic sweeper starts cleaning the room at his command. Artem opens the drawers of the cabinet and starts to organize the items inside, piece by piece.
이건...
As he sees the photo that he specially put in the corner, he pauses.
정교한 주사 위에는 홍두를 넣었으니 뼛속까지 사무치는 그리움을 알까.
Oh.
하늘이 영원하듯 정은 끊기 어렵고 마음은 얽힌 그물 같아서 수천 갈래로 얽혀 있네.
I remember this card. We recently did the story on this card. That's why. These are the wishing tags from Cloudbreak Temple. Before tying them together on a branch, Artem took a photo of them as a souvenir.
홍두 나무.
홍두! I really like that song. Artem murmurs as he is looking at the wishing tags in the photo. As if thinking of something, he suddenly pauses. Without checking the time, he hurriedly takes his cell phone and dials a number.
어머, 웬일로 우리 아들이 엄마한테 먼저 보자고 했을까?
I wonder why our son is saying that he wants to see his mom. The next afternoon, Kimberly Garner picks up her morning coffee while sitting on the couch with a smile. She takes a sip of the coffee and glances at her son, who is uncharacteristically anxious. She seems to know why.
오랜만에 쉬시는데 방해해서 죄송해요.
갑자기 나 깐지럽게 왜 그러니?
Why are you suddenly being so formal?
우리 아들 인생 대사가 걸린 일인데 엄마로서 당연히 도와야지.
Aww. After saying this, Kimberly looks around the place.
그 친구가 없으니까 응접실도 휑하게 느껴지네. 맞다. 그 친구 SNS를 보니까 지난 며칠간 미림씨가 아니던데. 설마 싸웠니?
Did she move out? Is this after the birthday card? Oh.
아니요. 최근에 옆 도시의 변호사 사무소와의 협력이 필요한 중요한 사건이 있었거든요.
Okay, Kathy. I'm glad you're gonna be here to kiss Artem.
경험을 쌓고 싶어 하기도 했고 저도 좋은 기회라고 생각해서 그 친구한테 맡겨보면 어떨지 대표님께 건의했었어요.
Oh, he called us that friend. Let's be more than friends, Artem. Artem is trying to maintain his composure, but the shaking coffee in his hand exposes his nervousness. Oh, wait, no. It can't be after the pool card because the pool card was after they were dating. Okay. All of this has been understood by Kimberly.
그렇구나. 잠시 떨어져 있는 것도 나쁘지 않지. 덕분에 이렇게 서프라이즈를 준비할 시간도 생겼고 말이야.
Is it because of being apart that you decided to prepare a surprise?
우리 아들이 이렇게 물러날 사람은 아니잖아.
You're not someone who backs out, are you? Or who gets like cold feet, are you?
물러날 이유가 없죠.
좋아. 네 마음이 그렇게 확실하다면 이제 본론으로 들어가자.
Okay.
네가 어제 부탁한 사진은 온 집안을 다 뒤져서 겨우 한 장 찾았단다.
Artem takes the photo that has been handed to him.
역시 제 기억이 맞았네요.
Hmm? The age photo clearly captured the scene. The boy holding up a small shovel is squatting next to a freshly planted sapling. His earnest little face is covered in dirt and mud. Oh my gosh, did he plant a tree?
네 기억이 맞았어. 어렸을 때 네가 홍두나무를 심었더구나. 자세히 생각해보니 난 엄마로서 너무 부족해. 매일 일에만 신경 쓴다고 이런 일도 까먹다니.
Aww.
어제 네가 물어봤을 때 전혀 생각이 나지 않더구나.
아니에요. 정말 좋은 어머니였어요. 이 나무는 어머니와 같이 가서 심었던 것 같은데 아닌가요?
It seems we planted this tree together, isn't that right?
녀석, 살가운 말도 할 줄 알게 됐구나.
This kid, this child. I didn't expect you to speak so sweetly.
그때 왜 너를 데리고 가서 이 나무를 심었는지 기억나니?
When he breathes like that, I feel like he's breathing into my ear. You want to sleep, but you gotta fix your sleep schedule. You can do it. Artem thinks for a while, but finally shakes his head and frowns.
그때 초등학생이었다는 것 외엔 기억나는 게 별로 없어요.
That time, I don't remember much about it outside of going to school. Oh my gosh, you only remember studying.
괜찮아. 내가 기억하고 있거든. 그렇게 멋진 추억을 잊어버리면 정말 아쉽잖아?
Kimberly then takes out 2 items from her bag.
나무 소유권 증명서랑 상장?
Oh.
맞아. 이 상장은 그때 학교에서 주최한 시 경연대회 상장이야. 너
Oh.
그때 1등 했거든.
You received this from a poetry competition at school because you were first. Wow, he got first place in a poetry contest.
넌 어릴 때부터 지는 걸 싫어해서 이 상을 받으려고 매일 우리보다 일찍 일어나고 억지로 재워야만 잠에 들었단다.
그러고 보니
근데 재밌는 일은 그게 다가 아니야.
Oh.
네가 그때 한창 홍두와 관련된 식구에 빠져서 그 의미를 정말 궁금해했지.
Artem looks away a little embarrassed. Why? Was he a little romantic even from a young age? Artem's just perfect. Kimberly recalls a memory from more than a decade before.
은우야, 여기 있었구나. 집에 갔는데 네가 없어서 정말 놀랐잖아.
죄송해요, 엄마.
Oh my god. Who plays baby Artem?
괜찮아. 널 혼내려는 게 아니야. 엄마가 바빠서 너랑 놀아주지 못해서 정말 미안해.
Oh. She says, no, it's not that I'm scolding you. It's actually that I'm sorry that I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to play with you. Oh. Kimberly pats the boy's head with a smile.
그러고 보니 요즘 시 경연대회를 준비하지 않았니? 밤에 여긴 갑자기 왜 온 거야? 근데 손에 들고 있는 그건 뭐야?
주방에서 가져온 홍두예요.
Artem opens his palm to show Kimberly the few dark red beans.
방금 시를 외우고 있었는데 시인들이 다들 홍두에 특별한 의미를 부여해서요. 근데 왜 이 홍두에 특별한 의미를 부여하는지 의아했어요. 그래서 진짜 홍두나무가 어떻게 생겼는지 보고 싶어서 왔어요.
He couldn't just look up a picture?
그렇구나. 은우야, 네 손에 있는 건 요리에 쓰이는 파츠지 홍두가 아니란다.
Ah. She says in Korean something different. It's not as ridiculous as the sentence is. Because this sentence makes Artem seem really stupid. But she says, these aren't true red beans. They're the type of red beans that you use to cook. Like in rice.
둘이 뭐가 달라요?
They're different?
홍두는 여러 종류가 있지만 대부분은 함부로 먹으면 안 된단다. 자, 이것 보렴. 이렇게 생겼어.
Kimberly shows the picture she found on the internet to the boy. In the photo, the warm sunshine is pouring down through the lush green branches. The red fruits are decorations among the rich greenery. In the sunlight, they are as brilliant as coral, emitting a dazzling luster.
예쁘다.
Aww.
예쁘지? 홍두는 단단하고 색이 선명하면서도 변하지 않아. 그래서 그리운 마음이 뭉쳐서 홍두가 되고 홍두는 영원히 변치 않는 사랑을 상징하지.
Oh, I see.
이런 의미가 있어서 홍두는 사랑의 증표로 자주 쓰이고 좋아하는 사람에게 선물하는 거란다.
그럼 저도 홍두나무를 심을 수 있어요?
Hearing Artem's rare request, Kimberly is surprised and also pleased.
그럼 경연대회가 끝나고 교회에 있는 삼림농장에 가자. 은우가 직접 나무를 골라 심는 거야.
Recalling the long-lost memory, Artem stays silent for a moment before looking at Kimberly again.
그 홍두나무 아직 있나요?
너무 오래전 일이라 나도 잘 모르겠어.
It's been so long that I don't really know myself.
하지만 한 가지 확실한 건 그 나무가 살아있다면 지금쯤은 과실을 맺을 수 있을 나이야.
But one thing is for certain. If the tree is still there, it's definitely old enough to bear fruit.
언제 한번 가서 확인해 보렴. 어릴 때 정성 들여 심은 건데 아깝잖니.
It'd be a shame if your hard work went to waste, wouldn't it?
네, 맞아요.
Artem takes the certificate. His fingertips sweep over the line with the address and he smiles. Next act already. After bidding farewell to his mother, Artem drives to the outskirts of Celis. By the time he reaches the destination, it is already nightfall. The woodland worker that greets Artem is in his 50s. Hearing Artem's purpose for coming, he smiles softly.
10년 전에 직접 심은 나무를 찾는다고요? 어디 보자.
Artem hands the photo to the man.
밭은 종류가 다양해요. 사진을 보니 상사자 속 덩굴식물은 아닌 것 같고 홍두 계열 같은데. 그나저나 갑자기 이 나무를 찾는 이유를 물어봐도 될까요?
Is it alright if I ask you the reason that you suddenly want to find this tree?
이 홍두는 독성이 있어서 함부로 먹으면 안 되거든요.
Oh no, he's got poisonous beans. Artem shakes his head with a smile at the man's humorous manner of speaking.
먹으려는 건 아니에요.
I don't intend to eat them.
열매를 조금 따서 세상에서 단 하나뿐인 사랑의 증표를 만들려고요.
Oh. Oh, that's what his necklace is. That's really cute.
마음에 묻어두었던 감정을 그녀에게 꼭 전하고 싶거든요.
I hope to convey the feelings that I've long held in my heart to her.
홍두는 예로부터 사랑의 증표였죠. 보기보다 열정이 있는 젊은이군요.
Oh, he says, you seem more thoughtful than you look. Wait, what does that mean?
하지만 산에 올라가려면 좀 기다려야겠어요.
He looks up at the dim sky.
지금은 시야 확보도 안 되고 비가 온다는 소식도 있었거든요. 안전을 생각해서 이런 상황에 입사는 무리예요. 산에 올라가려면 날이 밝을 때까지 기다려야겠어요. 귀한 시간 내서 왔는데 미안합니다.
괜찮습니다. 안전이 제일 중요하죠.
It's all right. Safety is the most important thing, isn't it? He takes a look at his watch and then politely nods goodbye to the old man.
그럼 오늘은 이만 가볼게요. 내일 오전에 다시 오겠습니다.
A local bed and breakfast. Considering that the round trip is rather time-consuming, Artem chooses to stay in a B&B nearby. I was like, I was thinking Airbnb, and I was like, wait, Airbnb is a very specific thing. Oops. After settling in, it's nearly 9 p.m. Listening to the noisy, pounding rain, Artem sighs. Oh, I love the ambiance of this rain.
잘 하고 있으려나? 사건은 잘 처리하고 있겠지?
She must be handling the case well, right? Artem gazes at the incredibly familiar name in his phone's address book. After much hesitation, he moves to some other number and presses the call button.
안녕하세요, 주 변호사님. 테미스 변호사 사무소의 백은호입니다.
As soon as he introduces himself, a somewhat surprised voice comes from the other side of the line.
백 변호사님? 이렇게 늦은 시간에 갑자기 전화라니 무슨 중요한 일이라도 있나요?
If you're calling me so late at night, does that mean that something's the matter?
아, 늦은 시간에 죄송합니다.
I'm sorry to call you so late, or about the late hour.
최근에 귀사와 저희가 함께 맡고 있는 사건이 어떻게 진행되고 있는지 궁금해서 연락드렸습니다.
그게 어떻게 설명드려야 할지 사건이 조금 까다롭네요. 상대 측이 우리에게 불리한 증거를 많이 가지고 있어서 상황을 반전시킬 돌파구를 못 찾고 있어요.
그러면 제가
하지만 테미스의 그 변호사님은 그렇게 쉽게 포기할 생각이 없어 보이더군요.
Hearing this, Artem stopped short of what he was about to propose.
그래요?
네, 선고가 나기 전까지 최선을 다하겠다고 하셨어요. 변호사님의 그런 모습을 보니 저희도 정신이 바짝 들더라고요. 변호사님은 지금 사무실에 계신데 전화 바꿔드릴까요?
괜찮습니다. 많이 바쁘실 텐데 이만 끊겠습니다.
It's all right. You must be very busy. I'll end the call now. After hanging up the phone, Artem immediately types a text message and sends it to her. No matter what happens, both the Themis law firm and I have your back. Have no worries and act boldly. He soon gets a reply. Thanks, Mr. Wing. I'll do my best. Seeing the emoji of the little man scribbling furiously at his desk, Artem can't help letting out a laugh. Oh my gosh. This is so interesting. I realize everything has been from Artem's point of view this entire time. We have had no Rosa perspective. So interesting.
네, 믿고 있을게요.
I'll believe in you. Or I'll be trusting in you. The next morning, the rain stops and the weather clears up. Under the guidance of the staff, Artem steps into the damp and dewy woods and arrives at the planting area halfway up the mountain. After checking the name tags hanging on the trunk of the trees, he finally finds his in the corner.
찾았다.
I found it. Last night's rainstorm was fierce. Artem picks up the branches that were knocked to the ground at his feet and there are a few clusters of white flowers on them. He then looks up. Oh, this is it! Ah! This is the picture. Oh man, I love this card. The red bean tree in front of him has grown from the small sapling to a large tree over the years. Double Artem, wow. The after rain breeze blows by with fragrance of the flowers blended into the cool morning air. It's quite refreshing.
꽃은 폈나?
Artem stares at the red bean tree he planted with his own hands. Seeing the tree's sprawling vitality, he gets lost in thought. The old man to his side lets out a cheerful laugh.
꽃이 피었군요. 젊은 친구가 운도 좋아요.
You're lucky as well.
운이 좋다고요?
그럼요. 이 광경은 해마다 볼 수 있는 게 아니거든요.
Oh.
홍두나무는 꽃이 피는 시기가 일정하지 않아요. 그래서 이렇게 꽃이 핀 걸 보기 어렵지요. 때로는 몇 년 동안이나 열매가 열리지 않기도 해요. 그런데 여기 오자마자 봤으니 운이 좋지요.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually really amazing.
그렇군요.
After hearing that, Artem smiles, his gaze even softer.
항상 느끼지만 전 운이 참 좋은 것 같아요.
I always feel this way, but I really am lucky.
근데 이제 꽃이 핀 걸 보니 수확하려면 시간이 좀 더 걸리겠네요.
네, 열매가 열린 것도 있겠지만 몇 주가 지나야 진짜 익었다고 할 수 있죠.
Is he? Wow, a few weeks. Oh, he has to wait.
급할수록 돌아가라는 말이 있잖아요. 고백은 성급해서는 안 되는 일이니 조금만 더 기다려봐요.
Yeah, I don't recall everything he said, but it sounds roughly like this, and in the end is just wait a little longer. He grips the branch in his hand. The long suppressed feelings have been growing stronger in his heart. Patience is one of their themes, so that's good. Regardless of what he is doing or where he is, she is constantly on his mind, his feelings growing more vivid by the day.
몇 주라는 시간이 이렇게 길게 느껴질 줄이야. 예전에 나라면 기다렸겠지.
He says, like, I didn't expect that a few weeks would feel so long. In the past, I would have been able to wait.
하지만 이제 더는 기다리기 싫어. 아니, 못 기다리겠어.
But now, I don't want to wait. No, I can't wait. Oh, the change.
한시라도 빨리 내 마음을 전하고 싶어.
I quickly want to convey all of my feelings to her. A breeze blows by. Amongst the falling petals, Artem puts away his umbrella. After inserting the branch in his hand into in soil next to the red bean tree, Artem gets up to thank the old man.
귀한 시간 내서 함께 와주셔서 정말 감사합니다.
아닙니다. 어차피 심심하면 이곳에 오거든요. 근데 도움이 못 돼서 미안해요.
Oh, it's nothing. I come here every now and then when I'm bored anyway. But I'm sorry that I wasn't able to be more helpful.
아니요, 괜찮습니다. 증표는 돌아가서 다른 방법을 생각해 보면 돼요.
그 아가씨를 정말 아끼나 보군요.
It seems you really like this woman.
네, 맞아요.
Yes, that's true. After leaving, Artem takes a long, thoughtful look at the red bean tree behind him.
일이 잘 풀리면 다음엔 그녀와 같이 와야겠어. 그때쯤이면 활짝 핀 홍두를 볼 수 있겠지.
Oh, so first plan kind of failed. Okay. After checking out the B&B, Artem is ready to drive back. Oh, I'm surprised. Or checking out of the B&B, Artem is ready to drive back. Wow, I'm surprised though that he, patience has been one of their themes, and he actually is not going to be waiting this time. The moment he opens the car door, a loud shout suddenly comes from behind him.
젊은이, 잠깐만 기다려봐요.
Young man, wait.
무슨 일이세요? 천천히
다행히
Oh, whoops, sorry. He said more.
무슨 일이세요? 천천히 오셔도 괜찮아요.
What's wrong? It's all right to come slowly. With Artem holding him up, the old man pants for a long time before his breathing slows down. Oh, he really... Wow.
방금 줄 게 있었는데 깜빡해서요.
He doesn't have a line here. Artem takes the glass vial. There are bright and luscious red beans inside of it. After noticing his surprise, the old man hurries to explain.
다른 게 아니라 젊은이가 심었다던 홍두나무에서 딴 열매예요.
Oh. It's all right. These beans are from the same tree that you planted.
예전에 열렸던 열매인가요?
네, 전에 너무 예쁘게 열려서 몇 알 보관해 뒀어요.
Oh.
올해 수확한 게 아니지만 도움이 되었으면 좋겠네요.
Lucky.
정말 감사합니다. 혹시 이 홍두를 언제 수확했는지 기억하시나요?
그런 것까지 기억하진 못하지만 유리병 바닥에 쓰여 있을 겁니다.
유리병 바닥에.
Artem turns the glass vial over. Is it the year she entered the company or something?
무슨 문제라도 있나요? 너무 오래돼서 글자가 잘 안 보이나요?
아니요.
Artem shakes his head, smiling.
그냥 수확한 연도가 좀 특별해서요.
Oh, the year is special to him.
저희가 처음 만난 해거든요.
The year they met. Oh my gosh. He's super lucky.
그렇군요. 천생연분이라는 하늘의 계시 같네요.
Seriously, fate is such a huge theme for Artem. I mean, it is probably for all of them, but wow.
그랬으면 좋겠네요.
I hope so. After putting the glass vial away, Artem thanks the old man again.
도와주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 이걸로 세상에서 단 하나뿐인 증표를 만들어서 선물할게요.
Oh, I'll make them into something one of a kind and give them to her myself.
이제 적당한 장소를 찾아야 하는데.
Oh my gosh. How long until the confession? The amusement park! Wait, are we already there? Wait, no, he's just deciding, right? We're not there yet, right? The amusement park is full of people on Saturday. However, the fun atmosphere and playful sounds around her cannot change her mood. She's here! Rosa's here! She lets out a sigh. Her mind is completely absorbed in the case she worked with the law firm from the neighboring state. Although she did everything she could, the result was not satisfying. She saved her client's reputation, but didn't get the amount of compensation she aimed for. I could have done better. If it had been Artem, he would have done better.
왜 그래요? 어디 아파요?
What's wrong? Are you hurt anywhere? Artem asked with concern in his voice. He seems to have noticed her acting strangely. I'm fine. I'm just feeling a bit warm from the hot sun and the crowds. Don't be a spoilsport. You gotta cheer up. It's a special day today. It is. She has no idea. 3 days ago, she returned to Stella's from the neighboring state. It is a weekday, and Artem has taken half a day off work to pick her up. Sorry, Mr. Wing. I screwed up the case. The sound of a sigh fills the small space in the car. At this moment, she encounters a red light. After stopping the car, he turns to her with a smile on his face.
전에도 말했겠지만 결과가 어떻든 당신 뒤엔 항상 저와 테미스 변호사 사무소가 있을 거예요.
I've already said this, but no matter what the result is, I and the Themis law firm will be behind you.
모든 사건에는 불확실한 요소들이 많기 때문에 매번 만족스러운 결과를 얻을 수는 없어요.
Each case is full of uncertainties, so there aren't many times that you will get what you want 100% of the time.
하지만 결과가 어떻든 당신이 그 과정을 통해 배우고 성장할 수 있다면 그걸로 충분해요.
But whatever the results are, as long as you've learned something and grown and developed from it, that's enough. Mr. Wing. I know, but if it had been you, you would have won. A big win, probably. Thinking about this, she again feels the gap between herself and Artem.
참,
What is it? Artem hesitates, pursing his lips as he rarely does. At the same time, the red light is counting down. 10, 9, 8. Seeing the counting down, he finally makes up his mind to speak.
주말에 시간 괜찮아요?
Do you have some time this weekend?
당신에게 하고 싶은 중요한 얘기가 있어서요.
There's something that that I want to and is important to tell you. Or there's something important that I want to tell you. Something important. Could it be a love confession? Wait, she knows? She looks over at Artem, who is lined up in front of the ice cream truck not far away. He wanted her to have some time to give it some real thought before answering him, but she feels like it should be him who should be thinking about it. Compared to Artem, who's so professional and capable, she's so far behind.
오래 기다렸죠?
You waited a long time, didn't you? This waiting theme. While she's lost in thought, Artem returns with 2 cones. That had 2 meanings. Thank you, Mr. Wing.
천만에요. 오늘 햇볕이 강한데 여기 앉아서 열 좀 식히고 가요.
She takes a bite of the ice cream in her hand and tries to cheer herself up. In the cool shade, she mechanically licks the cone while her mind is in a total mess. If he finds out that I'm not as good as he thinks I am, will he be disappointed and regretful?
무슨 생각해요?
What are you thinking about? Nothing. Meeting Artem's gaze, she feels as though he can see through her, and has heard all the little thoughts going through her mind.
아이스크림 다 먹고 갈 곳이 있어요.
Artem brings her to a plant maze. According to the staff, this labyrinth was converted from a botanical garden. It is open to the public. It is a spiral maze, so the entrance and exit are the same. The challenge is not to find the exit, but to rescue the doll trapped in the center of the maze, and then find your way back out. It's bigger than I thought. It's so quiet here, completely different from outside.
한 번에 한 팀만 챌린지에 참가할 수 있어서 그런가 봐요.
It seems that only one group is allowed to enter at a time.
그래서 그런지 제한 시간 안에 미션을 끝내지 못하면 챌린지는 바로 종료된대요.
I see. How did I miss the rules? I guess I was distracted. Mr. Wing, let's find the way to the center as fast as we can. After saying this, she takes the first step into the maze. Under the haze of her previous failure, she can't wait to prove herself to him, even in a small game like this. Rose is feeling bad today, wow. But it is more difficult than she expects. A dead end again. This is the fourth one. Being surrounded by all the greenery, the intricate pathway seems even more confusing. After running into dead ends everywhere, she has used up a third of the time. Sorry, Mr. Wing. I suck so bad. I'm gonna refrain from comments. One failure after another, her heart is filled with incredible guilt. He smiles and then teases her, something he seldom does.
오늘은 왜 계속 미안하다는 말뿐이에요? 오늘은 왜 계속 미안하다는 말뿐이에요?
Why have you only been thanking me or apologizing today? I led us the wrong way, which has wasted so much time. I was imagining winning the big prize with you, but now it seems that we'll be lucky just to complete the challenge. With all her prior failures in front of her mind, she suddenly starts to hesitate. Should she trust her judgment when she faces a fork in the path again? We're gonna go with back down. I feel like Rose is in a very bad state today. I shouldn't have led the way. I better follow your choice at the next fork.
알았어요. 하지만 저도 느낌대로 찍어야 해서.
But I'm just choosing based on my feelings as well.
제가 길을 잘못 들어도 운이 나빴다고 생각하고 절대 절 원망하면 안 돼요. 알겠죠?
If I hope I'm lucky, but if I choose the wrong way, you can't blame me. Understand? Artem's subtle reminder immediately wipes away most of the guilt in her heart. How could I possibly blame you?
저도 마찬가지예요. 한 번도 당신을 원망한 적 없어요.
He turns around, holds her by her hand, and leads her back the way they came.
실은 길을 잘못 드는 건 지극히 정상이에요. 미로에서뿐만이 아니라 일상에서도 판단을 잘못해서 잘못된 길로 빠지는 경우가 많아요. 저도 막다른 길을 선택한 적이 꽤 많았어요.
Really?
네, 맞아요.
He gently reassures her, his smiling eyes carrying indescribable feelings.
예를 들면 좋아하는 사람에게 잘못된 방법으로 접근해 역효과만 나고 심지어 상대방에 비해 제가 너무 부족하게만 느껴져서 마음을 접으려고도 했어요.
That's not true. I've made frequent mistakes without you by my side. I'm not qualified to be alongside you. After shouting out her long-buried feelings, she realizes that Artem did not mention her name at all. She immediately finds this unintended confession extremely embarrassing. However, he does not comment on it. He gently takes her hand and moves on. His palm has a reassuring warmth that seems to alleviate some of the tension and confusion in her heart.
자격 같은 건 필요 없어요.
You don't need any qualifications.
하지만 저도 뒤늦게 깨달은 게 있어요.
But I did notice something not long ago. After returning to the last fork, he walks in another direction.
바로 실수가 무서워서 앞으로 나아가길 포기하면 절대 안 된다는 거예요. 중심으로 향하는 길은 하나뿐이에요. 중간에 막다른 길을 만나면 다시 돌아가서 처음부터 시작하면 돼요. 걱정은 마지막 종점에 가서 해도 늦지 않아요.
Mr. Wing. Man, this is so cute. Suddenly, the view in front of her opens up. Sunlight shines down from above, and flowers and greenery stretch neatly outward, forming a straight, open, and well-lit path. At the end of this path, the doll they need to rescue is sitting on a table. Ah, there it is! She runs up and grabs the doll, excitedly holding it up to show Artem. He raises his hand to rub the doll's head with a doting smile.
잘 됐네요.
Lucky or nice. Or it turned out well. It turned out well. It's all thanks to you, or I might have given up.
저도 마찬가지예요.
Same for you?
네. 당신이 옆에 있어서 실수를 감내할 용기가 생겼고 덕분에 종점까지 무사히 도착할 수 있었어요. 그러니까 당신도 조금 더 자신을 가져봐요.
It's thanks to you that I ended up here, so you should be more confident in yourself. I get it. As Artem says, she can't just throw her hands up and stop trying because of past failures. What she should do is face up to the mistakes she's made. She must face up to her feelings for Artem.
이제 마지막 단계만 남았네요.
Following Artem's line of sight, she sees the countdown on the screen. It's a 15-minute challenge, and they now have 4 minutes and 53 seconds left. I memorized the path, so there's a chance we can make it. All the wrong paths will pave the way to the right one, right?
네, 정확해요.
That's exactly right. Great, let's get going. She reaches out and takes Artem's hand and runs toward the exit of the maze. Oh, she's cheered up again. Yay! Clusters of the high bush walls flash past her eyes, and the sound of the countdown clock becomes louder and louder. The wind whistles in her ear, but her mind is peaceful. Corner after corner, there is nothing that can stop the two of them from moving forward. 30 seconds. He holds her hand tightly in his palm, which works as a powerful encouragement for her. 20 seconds. The view is getting brighter, and the exit of the maze is in her sight. The staff applauds to congratulate them when they pass the exit, but there is also a kind of apology in his smile.
두 분의 경과 시간은 14분 47초입니다. 아쉽게도 참가상인 기념품 열쇠고리 한 쌍을 획득하셨습니다.
They take the pair of animal keychains and hand. Oh, she takes the pair of animal keychains and hands one of them to Artem. Hi, Kathy. We just finished a maze with Artem. This one's for you. It's not a huge prize, but it's pretty cute.
귀엽긴 하네요. 그리고
Oh, and what?
저도 당신에게 줄 선물이 있어요.
Oh, he has a gift. Is this the thing that he made from the red bean? A gift? He nods. After putting the keychain in his pocket, he looks back at her.
선물 말고도 당신에게 오래전부터 하고 싶었던 말이 있어요.
Oh, there's something that I've been wanting to tell you from a long time ago. With her mind focused on completing the challenge, she almost forgot. It's time! The confession! I think it's time for the confession. Perfect timing, Kathy. The words he wants to say, could they be? The faint premonition in her heart makes her face flush. But unlike earlier, she no longer feels hesitant and confused. All that is left is the feeling of anticipation.
저랑 같이 가요.
Let's go. Okay. The heat coming from her palms, of which she can't tell whose palm it's from, has now washed through her whole body. She lets him lead her forward, putting the noise of the crowd behind her. Gradually, in the growing silence, all she can hear is the violent pounding of her heart. The sound of splashing suddenly bursts out. A spectacular fountain abruptly rises from the empty square, surrounding them with a refreshingly cool mist. Wow! She tilts her head back to enjoy the wonderful view before her. Suddenly, she realizes something. If this fountain show was arranged by the amusement park, it would have been notified in advance. But it was quiet and empty here before the show. Could it be... Did you arrange this, Mr. Wing? Artem shakes his head.
준비라고 하기에는 그렇고 직원들에게 미리 도움을 청했어요. 오랫동안 어떤 곳에서 이 말을 꺼내야 좋을지 정말 많이 고민했어요.
I really thought a lot about where I should tell you, express to you the words that I want to today.
인테리어가 예쁜 연애홀에서 해야 할지 극장에서 공연을 보며 해야 할지 오랫동안 결정을 내리지 못하고 계속 고민했죠.
I kept hesitating between the many ideas or I kept, yeah, debating over the many ideas.
하지만 당신을 데리러 간 그날, 당신이 낙담한 모습을 보고 생각을 바꿨어요. 격식 있는 장소보다 당신이 마음 편히 있을 수 있는 곳을 선택해야겠다는 생각이 들더라고요.
I thought of the places, or I thought of, it came to mind. I thought of a place where you could relax. Oh, he's so sweet. Amusement parks. They really have like a thing for amusement parks. I feel like they're always at an amusement park. I'm surprised he has always noticed when she's stressed. He always thinks of everything when it comes to her. At this moment, all her tension melts away and is replaced by the warmth in her heart. As she looks deeply into Artem's sincere eyes, she feels that a tidal wave of motion is coming out of her. It's unstoppable.
항상 하고 싶었던 말이 있어요. 너무 자신을 다그치지 말아요. 실수나 실패는 별거 아니에요.
Every now and
무슨
then,
일이
mistake
있어도
is nothing.
전 당신이 성장하는 과정을 함께 할 거예요. 당신은 제 마음이 향하는 곳이자 제 인생을 함께하고 싶은 유일한 사람이에요.
He's blushing. Wait, what did he say?
당신은 제 마음이 향하는 곳이자 제 인생을 함께하고 싶은 유일한 사람이에요.
He says more than the last part here. He says also, you're the person in my heart? Something like that? Artem slightly lowers his head. The tumbling water columns gradually fall and the squares return to quietness. But the quietness feels like the calm before the storm. There are mysterious feelings disturbing her mind. Artem's voice, however, is clear.
당신 덕분에 굴레에서 벗어날 용기가 생겼고 이성을 지키면서도 유연하게 생각할 수 있게 됐어요.
Because you did this, I came to think that I have a soft side? Something like that?
유미가 입양됐을 때 입양자의 가정 환경뿐만 아니라 당사자의 의견도 중요하다는 걸 깨달았어요. 성담이의 가정폭력 사건 때도 당신은 위자료보다 그녀가 자신감을 되찾을 수 있게 힘썼죠. 저 혼자였다면 그런 건 생각지도 못했을 거예요.
Oh, I really like that he's recalling these very important moments to them. Nice. It's also a nice callback to the story.
당신이 있었기 때문에 기존의 방식에서 벗어나 더 많은 가능성을 깨닫게 됐어요.
You opened up basically a world of possibilities for me. Oh.
그러니까 전 당신이 우리 사이의 가능성을 믿고 계속 제 곁에 있어줬으면 좋겠어요. 서로 돕고 같이 성장하며 서로에게 힘이 되어주는
We can help each other, grow together, and it's more positive here. Hang on.
서로 돕고 같이 성장하며 서로에게 힘이 되어주는
Oh, and become each other's strength. Yeah. We can help each other, grow together, and become each other's strength. It's just so much more positive in English. This is the confession. You have to wait for it. It's so cute. Welcome back, Potato. I'm so glad that you're here with food. Oh my gosh. This is the confession, Cappy. He's taking his time to point out everything.
오늘처럼 평범하지만 소중하고 아름다운 순간을 같이 하는 사이가 되길 바라요.
I hope that just like today, we can experience many experiences. Have many more experiences together while holding each other's hands.
좋아해요.
Here it is. He says I like you though. I like you.
그 누구보다도 당신을 소중히 여기고 아낄게요.
I will cherish you more than anyone else. As soon as Artem finishes his words. Okay, guys. I'm back. Yesterday, the stream recording got cut and I didn't realize it. So, none of the part that came after this was saved. So I'm doing this again just to make sure that we get to a clear-cut conclusion. So the reaction won't be as fresh, but most likely there will still be reactions because I'm already getting heart flutterings looking at the text on the screen of Artem saying I love you to us. So here we go. Yeah, and today we have some different people in the chat. So yay, hello chat. Okay, here we go.
그 누구보다도 당신을 소중히 여기고 아낄게요.
When he says it, I believe it. As soon as Artem finishes his words, several huge jets erupt with bursts of splashing water, as if in response. There are colors in the water, like brilliant flowers. They bloom and drop from the air. It's like a beautiful dream, but more meaningful. Artem pulls her to his side, using his body to protect her from the splashes. His sudden physical contact completely breaks her last bit of composure, and she can no longer hold back the impulse to respond to him. She wraps her arms around his neck. Rosa made the first, major move. Artem is a little shocked at first, but he quickly responds to her. Enjoy. Oh my gosh. Finally. So Rosa kissed him first. Kathy, it's time. It's time for your sussy as Beck comment. Yes, he just protected her from the water. Although he did not tell her to not wear a white shirt. Artem, sir. But Rosa made the first move to kiss. You can't join my Discord? Here, let me give you the right Discord link. My Discord link on Twitch is sometimes not updated. So this one should work. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Artem is a little shocked at first, but he quickly responds to her. He holds her by the waist and rubs her earlobe with his slightly rough fingers, causing a tingling shiver to go through her. They include it in the art. Oh my gosh, that gas. I hope you made Beck proud. You said, Rosa, then take me to the bathroom and let's do it. I'm sure that would make Beck proud. Okay. The mist from the fountain floats in the air and cools her warm body. Is he blushing? Wait, I can't see very well. His romantic advance kindles her passion, starting from her lips and then traveling through her body. Basically, Rosa getting a little excited here. Perhaps attracted by the fountain show, a crowd has gathered. She can feel their sporadic gazes on them. They are either excited or whispering. Her body can't help but become tense due to the surrounding crowd. Sensing her discomfort, he stops kissing her and looks at her while gently gasping. Can we hear some of that gasping? Sheesh! Look at this art. If you learn a language, you will use it. Indeed. 그리고 쓰면서 배울 수도 있겠죠. It's okay. I was already wet. Oh my god! No, that's definitely a Beck comment. Okay. Oh, this is so pretty though. No! Why did the water shoot up at that moment? No.
다른 사람은 신경 쓰지 말고 저만 바라봐요.
Don't worry about other people. Look only at me. Oh my gosh. Okay. The moment she meets his eyes, he immediately pulls her into him by her waist to close the distance between them. As if letting out all the feelings that he has been hiding for so long, he grows bolder. During the long and passionate kiss that follows, her turbulent and rapid breaths mingle. Oh, their turbulent and rapid breaths mingle and mix together. Just as he wanted, she no longer cares about the surrounding crowd. The only thing she's interested in right now is responding to his passion. It is only once he is out of oxygen and has to gasp for air that he slowly lets go of her. And it is time for my reminder that Artem can hold his breath for a ridiculously long amount of time. He has survived being in a chamber that was being depleted of air. And he kissed her until he was breathless. Oh my god. Wow, Artem. 빨리 진행하죠. 제드스임차겠다. 키스 몇 번째죠? 두 번째인데 진짜 너무 긴 키스야. After a moment, she musters up the courage to give him her serious answer. I didn't notice the feelings when they first started. Actually, I don't know when it started. But Artem, I really love you. And my feelings for you are stronger than for anyone else.
잘 알겠어요.
Oh my god, I'm glad you know. Artem nods with his eyes full of joy.
그럼 앞으로도 방금처럼 이름으로 불러줘요.
Then from now on, please keep calling out my name just like this. Oh. I will. The splashes of water get weaker, and just when she thinks the grand show is over, Artem takes out a small jewelry box from his pocket. What's this?
아까 말한 선물이에요.
So the gift Artem was talking about wasn't the fountain show. Artem opens the jewelry box and takes out the necklace in it.
제가 채워줘도 될까요?
Mm-hmm. She feels the cold of the necklace against her skin. I like how she's already looking at it. I guess they can hold their breath really well, indeed. 이름으로 불러달라. 그렇지. 어머나, indeed. See? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad Dori-chan understands that, like, the significance of saying, like, call me by my name, you know? Not the movie. Wait, isn't that call me by your name or something? Whatever. You feel the cold of the necklace against your skin. While Artem is helping her put on the necklace, she lowers her head to look carefully at this special gift. It is beautifully crafted. Upon closer inspection, she sees there are numbers on a dice-looking part in the center.
홍두로 만든 주사위예요.
It's a dice that I made out of red bean. Red bean dice? While she mumbles the words, the wish tags she got in Cloudbreak Temple suddenly come to her mind. Like the red bean set into a dice, my yearning is etched into my very bones. My yearning is etched into my very bones. Reading the poem in her mind, she blushes again.
제가 어렸을 때 홍두나무를 심었었는데 그 나무에서 딴 열매에 손수 조각했어요.
When I was young, I planted a red bean tree. With the beans from that tree, I carved this. Huh? You planted a red bean tree?
네. 어릴 때 홍두에 담긴 특별한 의미에 호기심을 느껴서 홍두나무를 심었어요.
Yes, when I was young, I was curious about what meaning was given to the red beans, so I planted a red bean tree to find out.
오랜 시간이 흐른 뒤에야 어머니가 말했던 그리움의 의미를 알았고 그 그리움의 대상도 찾았어요.
I finally understand the meaning, the yearning that my mother talked about. And now I know, or now I found that person that I yearn for.
바로 당신이에요.
It's you. Artem gently fastens the clasp of the necklace. Through the breath that lingers at the back of her neck, she can somehow feel his gaze.
그리고 이 홍두는 우리가 처음 만났던 해에 열린 열매예요.
Seriously amazing that he managed to find the beans from the year they met. You're back, Miku. You feel like you got sunburned from how intense the sun was this morning? Oh no, just from going outside for that short time? 아, 이거 영상향이구나. 여성향. 네네네. Beck is upset about how he's missing all of the BL and the sus. I'm so sorry. I mean, there's not really BL because right now it's just Artem and Rosa. Unless you guys are Rosa, and that's okay. Then you guys are part of the BL.
제게 있어서 가장 특별한 한 해죠.
Artem belongs to all of us. 네. She's never been one to believe in fate. But this feeling of being favored suddenly makes her want to believe in destiny. She gently holds the pendant and turns around to look at him. It's a testament to our relationship, and I will cherish it.
그렇게 해줄 거라 믿어요.
I will
그리고
believe that.
만일을 위해 미리 말해두자면
And this is something that I feel like I should tell you.
이 홍두는 가공 처리를 거쳤지만
These red beans have been processed,
독소가 남아 있을 수도 있으니 절대 입에 넣어서는 안 돼요.
but there may still be some poison remaining in them. So you can't eat them. Oh, it's still funny. Oh, does he think she's that stupid? 절대 먹으면 안 돼. 당연히. Why would she eat your necklace? What kind of creature do you think Rosa is? Artem can hold me like that anytime, right? You got food, yay! What did you get for breakfast? Damn it, I was hungry. 분위기 잡는데 배어서 고르륵 소리 나면 재밌겠네. 그렇지. 진짜. Oh my gosh. Got it. Looking at the brightly colored red beans on her neck, she lets out a sigh. They are poisonous, but they are often used as a token of love. I feel like there's a deep meaning in this.
뼛속까지 사무치는 그리움엔 약도 없으니까요.
That's because there is no cure for such yearning. Beezy, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. She raises her head and coincidentally meets his passionate eyes.
하지만
Kathy, you got your wish. Kathy got his wish. Artem embraces her in his arms among the gradually dispersing crowd. 네, ready예요. The sound of his heart beating is incredibly real. After letting out his long suppressed feelings, she sees his bare sincerity.
그리움이 병이라면 치료되지 않아도 좋아요.
If this yearning is considered a sickness, then it's fine even if there is no cure.
이 마음이 이번 생이 끝날 때까지 영원했으면 좋겠어요.
I hope to carry these feelings in my heart, something like that, until the day I die and that it'll last forever. I do too. She raises her arms to wrap them around his waist. Wait, why is she raising her arms to wrap them around his waist? Sometimes this game's like English editing team, I swear to God. She's not at D height. Oh my God, please. I'm sorry, I've just ruined everyone's moment. Amidst the melting snow, the coldness of the familiar scent of cedar gradually fades. It now smells clean and pure, with a bit of sweetness and warmth, just like his gentle whisper in her ear.
다음에 또 열매가 열리면 그땐 같이 홍두나무를 보러 가요.
Next time when the red bean tree blossoms, or the fruit bears fruit, sorry, let's go together to see it. Okay. Okay.
이 마음이 이번 생이 끝날 때까지 영원했으면 좋겠어요.
And here is the poem.
이건 우리가 처음 만났던 해에 열린 홍두예요. 제가 손수 조각했어요. 정교한 주사 위에는 홍두를 넣었으니 뼛속까지 사무치는 그리움을 알까.
I love this line. It's such a pretty line from a poem. 진짜 이 시 진짜 좋아요. Okay. I'm freaking tiny. That's okay though. Easy access. No, that's a back line. But no. Is a fairly old psychological thriller game they remastered for the PS5. They've been remastering a lot of things for the PS5, haven't they?
드디어 이 한마디를 당신에게 망설임 없이 말할 수 있게 됐네요.
I can finally comfortably, I guess, tell you or say these words to you. 저기서 말하는 로사가 지금 주인공. 네네. 주인공의 별명이 로사예요. 로즈 진짜 예쁘죠? 로사 어디 있어? 로사 여기서도 있고 진짜 예뻐요. My little red rose. 맞아요. Red rose. 맞아요. 강하고 예쁘고 그거 로사예요. 이 드레스 진짜 너무 좋아요. It's a very pretty game, so I think most people get drawn in by the art. The art is so pretty in this game. 이 게임의 뭐 진짜 킬링 포인트는 진짜 뭐 미술이에요. 모든 카드 너무 예뻐요. 보기만 좋다. SR 카드도 예쁜데 제 최애는 걔예요. 아템. 백은후. The art. I'm telling you guys, the art. I'm showing you guys some art. Okay. I'm being saucy for them. Not normally saucy. You're normally innocent. Liar. 쌤 정신 차려요. 애들이 와요. Yeah, okay. This game is never innocent. Whenever I play this game, it's always in the morning, and so that's when we're the sussiest. Okay.